There we go. All right, welcome folks. Welcome to our February 24th Chapter Presidents and Advisors meeting. Today's my husband's birthday. Well-known fact for February 24th, very special day in our household. As always with our chapter presidents and advisors meetings, it is being recorded. We will share the notes and we'll share any notes that we receive, slides, and the recording on our website later this afternoon, if not first thing tomorrow morning. And I'll let Michelle jump right into the agenda for today.
All right, we've got a little bit of a shortened agenda today. We'll go over with you. So in perseverance of your time, we try not to do too much of a repeat of what we did last month. So got a pretty slick agenda for you this morning, a lot of updates. And so welcome. Also letting new people in. So just a reminder on these chapter presidents and advisors monthly meetings, all chapter presidents for this meeting in the first few months, both past presidents and current presidents were added to the list of attendees or people that the information about this meeting went out to. There is and then advisors also. So the list of advisors that we have comes from VMS. And if you have advisors that aren't totally all reflected in VMS, if you could let us know the additional advisors to add to these meetings, that would be great. And we'll get them added in future meeting announcements for this. So again, the meetings are about up to 1 hour long. Sometimes they go a little longer, sometimes they're a little shorter. We'll send a reminder out each month. You also have all been added to the WebEx meeting invite that has been set up for the remainder of the year. And everybody on that list has been set up in those invites. Get another reminder from WebEx as well. The recording and notes, if anyone wants to take them, will be posted on our website by the following day. And that's routine after every one of these meetings. Okay. This is the list of the meetings that we have for the year. That same list was also sent out in the reminder email that I sent regarding this week's email or this week's meeting as well. Okay, let's move on to some of our 2026 chapter planning and things that we've been working on over the year. Just a reminder that this is a new cycle of our triennial review of all of our Master Naturalist Program governing documents. So we're in year 1 of that 3-year cycle in the governing documents, and all of our chapters right now should be in the process of some version of the process of implementing the updated bylaws at your chapter level, and then operating under our newly updated Code of Ethics, Standards of Conduct, CMOP, Chapter Management Operation Call, and then the Chapter Operating Handbook. I know several chapters are in some process of reviewing and updating the handbook as well. So that all went into effect with the start of 2026. As part of that 3-year review cycle, we do and will be taking your comments and constructive suggestions for updates to future documents, future guiding documents. So for the next 3 years, over the next 3 years, we will be taking your feedback on that through the feedback form. The link is listed here, and we've already got it. It will be posted in the chat, but and if you have edits or comments and suggestions that your chapter believes needs to be made for upcoming cycles of the guiding documents, please work through your chapter and your chapter board to coalesce and collect those comments, and then as a work through your chapter to enter those comments into the feedback form there. And so we'll be collecting those comments throughout over the next 3 years, these 3 years, and reviewing and incorporating what we can in the next iteration of the governing document dates, which wouldn't happen until that 3rd year. Okay. Just a quick overview again. This is one of the slides that we have that we're reviewing again from last month. Quick overview of the governing documents adoption process. What was updated, chapter bylaws, our CMOP, COH, Code of Ethics, Standards of Conduct. You know that we've mentioned that our website is the kitchen sink of all things, and the documents, the templates can all be found there. Many chapters should be and have already, they're working through that bylaws adoption process. Reminder there, we have an April 1st deadline of having all chapters work through the bylaws adoption process. And the bylaws are the only state level guiding documents that need to be approved at your local chapter level. CMOP, there is not an approval or adoption process. The CMOP is the CMOP, and that's what we use for our operations. That has been in effect since January 1. And then COH is the other document that a chapter can tailor somewhat. And the framework for that is on our website. And that's kind of the second part in the process of the government documents adoption process. So chapters over the past 2 months, now January and February, have made awesome movement in adopting their bylaws. So on the left-hand side of that screen, you see the short list of just 8 chapters who we haven't heard from yet regarding a bylaws request form. So that first thing a chapter would need to do in adopting the bylaws is to submit that option selection form on the website. And that would produce a document for your chapter to be able to move forward with implementing and reviewing and improving at the local chapter level. So just those 8 chapters: Central Texas, Heart of Texas, Llano Estacado, Longleaf Ridge, Prairie Oaks, Red River, Rolling Plains, and South Texas are the only chapters we haven't heard from yet in that part of the process. If you believe your chapter is in a different status here, let us know. But the records we pulled from the website on the form showed that we hadn't heard from these chapters yet. And then the column or the list of chapters on the right-hand side, that is the list of chapters that we haven't heard yet from on full adoption of the bylaws. So it doesn't mean you haven't done it. Several of the chapters on this list have already done the option selection, but you're working through the full adoption process of that document, most likely being that you're just waiting for your next chapter's meeting to membership meeting to approve that document at the local level. So we'll keep updating these two, but if you believe your chapter is in a different status than what we're showing here today, let us know. We pulled this report fresh this morning.
And so
I know Hill Country chapter, you had a meeting last night, so probably hadn't got to that portion of completing this process yet.
Sounds like Panhandle chapter in the chat has also approved those last night. And so once they're approved by that membership, it's going to that governing documents adoption process page on our website, submitting the meeting minutes and the final copy of the bylaws through that adoption notification form that's linked on that page. Just letting us know with that verification that has happened. Moving into some other projects that we're working at the state level. Our Conservation Wrangler project, y'all have heard this, and we've maintained these updates for you. The Master Naturalist Program was awarded a Conservation Wrangler project through Texan by Nature. This is our strategic planning process, our project that we're working on with their staff. And so first, again, thank you for everybody who's submitted survey information back in the fall. We're still working through analyzing that those 1,000 responses that we got on that survey, and we'll be moving forward with that and sharing any sort of updates and status reports on that project throughout the next 6 months as we move to complete this strategic planning process by later this fall. One update I did want to share, there were quite a few questions after our last state of the program address at our TMN Tuesday in January on where do I find these great videos that Texan by Nature put together for the program. Hannah has all of these readily linked on our website or on our YouTube page, and then linked here as well. So all of these links will be active on the slide deck when the slide is posted to our website later today as well. So feel free to use these promotional videos in recruiting Master Naturalist volunteers to your training program, telling folks about the program, and spreading the good word. Michelle, you want to give an update on the recertification pins?
Oh, the process, so recertification pins, almost everything's available on AgriLife Learn now. Our standard pins are available for order on AgriLife Learn now, including the Bobcat, which we'll cover in the next slide. But the main point I wanted to make here on this slide is that we are still, the Master Naturalist Program is still giving out the 4,000 hour award. We are giving out our 4,000 hour Dragonfly Award, but we're still not able to give out and obtain the Presidential Volunteer Service Award at this time that goes along with that. But everybody's name is who reaches that 4,000 hour milestone point. Their name is still going on a list for when the Presidential Volunteer Service Awards do become available again. We just have no ETA on how long that pause will take place and when it will return.
And so Michelle mentioned our Bobcat pin, which is actually 2 more slides after this. But as she mentioned, all of our pins are available on our AgriLife Learn website, that store where you can buy your Master Naturalist polos and hats and lanyards. You can also find your recertification and milestone pins. One word of caution as you're planning your first several months worth of chapter meetings and recertification celebration events. The AgriLife Learn warehouse is currently moving from West Bryan to East Bryan, moving facilities. And so there may be a delay in shipping. They're anticipating the first half of the month of March. There will be a delay in shipping with full production being realized at the end of April. And that's a conservative estimate. I imagine that crew will have things rolling by early to mid-April or so. There is no ordering process changes. There are no updates that you need to make to your account, to your contact information for the AgriLife Learn team, their customer service. All of that will remain the same. It is just we're warning you on this anticipated delay for the first couple of weeks of March. And so that same process for finding your recertification pins, your milestone pins, is logging into the system. Every Master Naturalist chapter has an authorized user that can see these privately listed pins. These are not publicly available, only privately listed, privately available to those chapter authorized accounts. And once you log into their login and search Master Naturalist pins, you should see those along with the Bobcat pin. The Bobcat is our 2026 recertification pin. Richard Halbrin did a fantastic overview of the Bobcat and some of the research that he has done in his research programs on the Bobcat as our TMN Tuesday in February. Hannah has that linked on our website and on our YouTube channel. Strongly suggest if you didn't watch that to go back and watch that program. But those recertification pins are now available on that website, on the AgriLife Learn website for ordering. Speaking of TMN Tuesday, Hannah, you want to tell us what we have upcoming?
Yeah, speaking of TMN Tuesday, of course, this is the standard information. It's typically the second Tuesday of every month, unless otherwise noted. Usually up to 1 hour of advanced training, sometimes more. We always record them and post them on our TMN Tuesday page on our website, either later that afternoon or the next day. And we announce the topics monthly. And if you want to go to the next slide, we just announced our March TMN Tuesday today, which will be Amy Hayes talking about generations in the wild, understanding what drives environmental values across age groups. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure that you join us for that TMN Tuesday. Also, the recording on the Bobcat pin is on our YouTube and found through the TMN Tuesday page on our website. And don't forget that these are also open to the public. So if this is a topic that sounds like your friend who isn't a master naturalist yet might enjoy it, feel free to share it with them as well. We also are still updating our 2026 training courses page on our website. We currently have 34 chapters that have listed their trainings on that page. You can see the link there to get there. It's also one of the big buttons on the home page, but this is just a reminder. It's another way for people to, if they end up on our website first, trying to find the training at your chapter, then it's another way to just get them back to your chapter website from there. So I'll drop that link in the chat in a second if someone hasn't added their training and they want to. But everyone you see on that list has their training updated on that page. Then on the topic of training and then also on the topic of communication, just a reminder that we have our training class director roundtables and our communication director roundtables. For the training class director, that one's going to be April 21st at 12 p.m. And then the communications one is May 5th at 12 p.m. I'll be sending reminders for those as we get closer to those dates. So this is kind of the final video. Hey, don't forget about these. You should already have it on your calendars because I sent the initial invitations, but I'll be sending reminders for those as well. And then we'll do a second roundtable for both of those groups live at the annual meeting as well.
All right, sharing some updates on our Pollinators for Texas initiative. This is a partnership with HEB and the Master Naturalist Program. We are excited to officially announce that our 2026-2027 Pollinators for Texas Award has been awarded by HEB. And so we're moving forward with a year 3 of this initiative with HEB and as partners for this project. This will go into effect in April. We'll open up applications for the 2026 to 2027 project year. And we'll have more information coming as the finalization of that project initiative comes together. But in general, the project will award chapters up to $4,000 in project grants for pollinator habitat initiatives. We have a link to our website, the Pollinators for Texas website there, where you'll be able to find past resources, past application information, previously awarded project highlights and updates, our 2024-2025 project final award for inspiration, or awards, not award, annual report for maybe some project inspiration, ideas. There are previous recordings on that website, on that page on our website. It is the kitchen sink within the kitchen sink of our website on all things pollinators for Texas. In addition, Christian Lopez, who is our Pollinators for Texas student intern or student project manager for this project, is putting together a WebEx webinar on Wednesday, April 15th at 6 p.m. We have not sent out any communication about that, but he wanted to make sure that you guys were saving the date and blocking that hour on that April 15th evening to as he presents a webinar to talk through the Pollinators for Texas application, information on the process, how to compile a strong application package, and then be able to offer an open Q&A as you're putting together your project, your application, and so on. We will be sharing that direct registration link in an email, but again, you'll be able to get that through these slides when we post them to the website. So more information to come on that. All things pollinator for Texas. Any questions that you may have, please send those to Christian through the shared email address, TMN pollinators for Texas at ag.tamu.edu. That gets filtered to him and helps him to keep all of the project questions together. Cindy, I see a question in the chat. It says, is preference given to projects within a chapter for the Pollinators for Texas Awards? Should a chapter submit more than one proposal? I'll ask Christian to clarify that in some of his upcoming webinar and address this as well. Projects that have already received an award. Again, I'll ask him to make sure that we get that clarified correctly. Okay, Michelle, you want to talk about April and what's coming up in April?
April's a busy month, as the title slide says there. Lots of things going on in April. We have our expanded TMN Tuesday with our virtual volunteer fair that will be presented April 24th. And again, that's just a reminder that it's TMN Tuesday where we don't have the full slate of all of our projects in yet, submitted yet, but the more there are, the longer that day will be. Then the following week, April is also International Volunteer Recognition Month. But then April 19th through the 25th is National Volunteer Week here in the US. And so it's a celebration of you and our volunteers with the Master Naturalist Program and all the things that you've accomplished over the past year. That's typically when our annual program annual report comes out. We also have Earth Day that week. City Nature Challenge starts that week. And yes, just a whole lot of things going on in April, but all fun, great things. So be on the lookout for National Volunteer Week social media templates and things coming out from Hannah coming up for April. Lots of stuff coming out of our office in April, for April. Hannah, you want to talk about Virtual Volunteer Fair? Oh, I saw that look, maybe not. Okay, so Virtual Volunteer Fair 2026. Save the date. I mentioned save the date. It's our TMN Tuesday for April 14th. More details will come out on that as we get more submissions for the Virtual Volunteer Fair. And that's where we need your help. We have just a few more days, week or two remaining to receive proposals for the Virtual Volunteer Fair. So if you can help share those proposals with your local chapter, local partners that you work with who you know may have a project that is applicable and fitting for statewide, and volunteers who can submit or volunteers who can contribute their time statewide, we really could use their project within our lineup for the Virtual Volunteer Fair. So help share the proposals requests. The current deadline is February 26th, but we will be extending that to March 5th. And then note the time on those. So deadlines all close at 5 p.m. For the Virtual Volunteer Fair. And then the other thing you can help is just save the date and encourage other members to attend that Virtual Volunteer Fair on April 14th.
And then some other dates that I really wish I could give you to put on your calendar. Mid to late October, we are planning for our 2026 annual meeting, but I do not have final dates that I can share with you quite yet as we finalize contracting with the local Waco area convention center. And so as soon as I have those dates, don't worry, we will have those on the website, on banners being dragged across the sky by planes all across Texas. on all of our social media pages and everywhere else in between. But we are looking forward to our 2026 annual meeting in Waco, Texas. So hopefully more to come. I wish I would have had more information to share with you today. Okay, then getting into chapter resources. And I want to pause here real fast. We update these photos every month. We like to highlight these photos throughout our presidents and advisors meetings and on our TMN Tuesdays. These are all photo submissions from the past year's, let me mute you real fast. These are all photo submissions from the past year's photo art and media contest. A great way to showcase some of the artwork of your members. And so these are some of my favorite things about these meetings is the different photos every time. And Hannah, you do a great job picking out some really appropriate photos. Speaking of photos and websites, we've mentioned it and we'll always have this slide in all of our PowerPoints because it is important to continuously remind our membership and for you to help us to continue to remind your membership and your chapters. Our state website is constantly being updated with information as that is our kitchen sink where we have our email listserv, we have our VMS help desk link, we have our chapter governing documents page, our naturalist news where we list these recordings, where we list updates and press releases and things like that. So I hope you have that page bookmarked and check it frequently. While we are on the topic of websites, both our state and our chapter websites have been migrated to a new server. That server migration is complete. The final step there is to do a domain migration and update the databases and the media files. And that big move of all of that background data happens in the background, and it will close the back-end access of your website. So you will not be able to log in if you are a webmaster or if you have credentials to log into the back end of your WordPress chapter website, you will not be able to log in between March 1st and March 3rd. And that is so that they can complete that full migration of all of those databases and media files. So you won't be able to make any updates. Now everything will be transferred over. You won't need to take any action from that aspect of things, but you just won't be able to log in. Your public facing side, what you view when you're not logged in or what you're sharing on your what you're sharing with those that are attendees that might be interested in learning more about your chapter, that will not change. That will still be available. So there will be no issues with the public facing side of your website. And again, no action is required from the chapters as those two steps are happening. And worth repeating here, this migration is designed to improve the security, reliability, and the long-term performance of our state and our chapter websites. And again, no changes to your chapter websites is being made as part of this migration to these new servers. We are also finalizing the hiring process and the final hiring steps for a dedicated program specialist. This individual will begin in early March and will come on to be the main point of contact for both the Master Naturalist and the Master Gardener chapter and state websites and any sort of back-end issues. This person will also be restarting the monthly TXMN Tech Tuesday webinars and developing additional training resources for all of our chapter website managers and those that are interested in learning more about website management. So that individual will be starting soon, and hopefully at next month's meeting, we'll be able to introduce that individual.
And just to be clear on that, that person isn't a Master Naturalist Program staff member. So, but they will support your
Yes.
chapters with the development, the website development. So it's not somebody we are hiring. The agency is hiring them.
One thing that we have on the website for y'all is our chapter templates and resources, and we've added some new ones recently. After the last meeting, we had a lot of requests for a business card, so I made 2 different templates. One is for an individual within the chapter, so say, obviously at the chapter presidents, you can make a chapter president business card, and the other one's just a general chapter business card. That doesn't link to one specific person, but links to your chapter as a whole. So we've added those 2 templates to the chapter templates and resources page, as well as a check that you can take to a local print shop and have to one of those big ones that you stand behind and everyone smiles. In preparation for that very busy April of National Volunteer Month. So if that is something that you are interested in having for your chapter, we have that template up there as well. And if you are thinking, oh wait, that's password protected, I sent out the updated password earlier this year. You can see the date that the email went out and the subject title. So if you've misplaced it, search that in your email inbox and you should be able to find it. But if you still can't find it, feel free to email me. And this is a slide that y'all are gonna see every single month and get tired of, but it's important, so we want to share it every single month. We won't read it out word for word every single month, but for the first few we usually do. But just a reminder that the Texas Master Naturalist title, chapter name, and program chapter member should never be used in connection with advocacy or to invoke policy or to gain personal profit. The logo and the title are both trademarks, and so they need to be given to us when put on those materials like t-shirts, chapter merchandise, project flyers, etc., for approval because they are trademarks. All of that we discussed in the new brand guide. So if you have any questions about that, go to that document. It's on that chapter documents page. And then any public comment should only be made as a private citizen, not as a master naturalist. And we have all of these on that chapter documents page. And again, some just additional reminders about the logo. It is a trademark. And so in order to have that cohesive branding across the state, chapters aren't allowed to have a chapter logo, but they are allowed to have a chapter mark. And you can see the 3 versions of the chapter marks there below. If you need one, you can use a form on that chapter templates and resources page to request one, and I'll send you that.
Okay, last month we announced that we were given a consolidation date of February 23rd. That is not a date we picked, but it was selected for us on our behalf, I guess. And so you've seen over the last couple weeks, VMS has been going through more updates than we've seen in a long time. So last Monday, what took place was called contexting. And so that's where they prepped all of our fields and tabs to be copied over into the Parks and Wildlife side of the account. What's happening here is the Texas Master Naturalist Program has its own account. Texas Parks and Wildlife has another account. And so we're merging the 2 accounts into one. And so contexting and prepping for consolidation took place last Monday. And then yesterday, consolidation, the major portions of consolidation took place yesterday. And it will continue this week. So the major portion of consolidation took place yesterday, was completed yesterday, but there's still a lot of cleanup, break fixes, and things that are happening continuously throughout this week and will be ongoing until things kind of get corrected. And so as right now, as a VMS admin, if you were to log into the system there, you may log in at any given point and see things that aren't there, not working. They appear and then disappear. And so there's just a lot of work going on in the system right now. And so bottom line, there's a lot of work going on right now. And thus we are asking our admins, the VMS admins at the local chapter level, to not log in because there's so much change. And if you were to log in and report something you saw as being a problem to our help desk, we're just in a wait and see period right now. Like we have identified a lot of things that are already on our list. And it's just going to take over the course of the week to get those things updated. So we are asking admins to not log in at this time, but some things you can be doing. So chapters, we do, because we moved into another merged and consolidated into one system, we have a new login link for volunteers to log in and get to the page to log their volunteer service hours. And so we've updated this on our website already, but if you as chapter presidents can help communicate within your chapter and help get updates made on your website, if you have a link on your website for your chapter volunteers to just click and be able to take them to the login page to log their hours, please update that link to this one here. And it's already been dropped in the chat. And if you can move to the next slide, please. I'll move into some updates that we have for each kind of user group. So first group, our biggest group, our VMS our volunteers entering time at the end user level. So any of our volunteers who use the system to log in volunteer time, that's everybody. First thing we want to have happen is that volunteer login link, if you're using it, that you replace whatever your old link was with this one here. And then once volunteers get there, here's a little bit of what the environment looks like once you get to your login page. So overall, logging hours as a volunteer is fine right now. Even while work is being done, even while the consolidation work is being done and things are being fixed, logging your hours is fine. That portion is working. It may look a little different. The look you will see is updated, but the functionality is reasonably similar. As such, we do not anticipate any retraining will need to take place for our general volunteers logging into the system to log their hours. The look isn't that much different from what they're used to. It's just refreshed and probably the biggest thing that you're going to notice as a volunteer logging in to log hours is that your dashboard will look a little different. And dashboard views are not fully populating correctly right now, but that is code that can be taken care of later. So it'll look a little different in your hours compared to master naturalist hours in parks, like the other parks and wildlife hours may not all line up, but that's going to take some time. So just know that dashboard view is it's going to take some time to get it looking correct in the hours they're looking correct. Doesn't mean your hours are wrong. It's just the code is not, that's kind of like lower on the priority to get that that skin of that piece looking correct. And then moving on to the admins. So admins, go ahead. Yeah, admin updates. So really the biggest take home point here for chapter VMS admins at the local level, the system changes are very fluid right now still. We're still suggesting that admins have a no use, no login period today, absolutely today. And there will possibly be other days throughout this week that we are asking admins to not log in because the system is so fluid that what you see and might want to report as a problem to our help desk right now may be getting changed as we are working through the log of break fixes and things that are still being worked on yet. Some other updates for VMS admins. Last month, we talked about a pre and post consolidation system review, a spreadsheet that we would be giving you, giving your chapters to kind of look at pre and post consolidation, just to check your data and make sure that things were transferred over correctly. Because the process was so fluid, we abandoned that idea for asking local chapter admins to do that because things were being worked on and it was just kind of during that time frame still. And there was half the information that we were asking chapters to kind of document wasn't visible. And so we abandoned the idea of the pre and post consolidation spreadsheet. Other things, we're continuing to develop an updated admin guide with screenshots of the new look and new procedures. So when VMS admins are able to log in, the look will be all different in that there will no longer be folders for your chapter to manage. Everything will be managed through a grid view. And so that is the documentation that we're working on updating as things are as the changes and the consolidation is settling down. We are updating those documents after we identify all the break fixes that took place through the process. We will also be developing tip sheets and desk aids for the first time that admins can log in after consolidation, because it will look different to you. And some of the procedures will be different as a result. Continue to expect a bumpy road this week. The company is still working through fixes in full conversion or full consolidation rather. And they've blocked their entire week this week to give our system their full attention. So I was on a call, a day-long meeting yesterday, going through all the things that we had identified so far after the consolidation. Immediately following this meeting, I will need to jump to the rest of the day's meeting, working with the company on our continued list of things that we've identified through the consolidation. So, and then just know that after this, once things settle down, our VMS team will be offering office hours in training as the consolidation work settles down and we've had time to learn and work with the new views ourselves.
Michelle, there's one question in the chat. Cindy asks if that link that's at the top of all three of these VMS pages is active today. When does it go into
that link is active today. Even if you were to click on the old link, it's going to redirect to this link.
Okay. So using the new link is now standard.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, just wrapping up the last couple of slides here for our monthly meeting. Shared this already, but our AgriLife Learn store is the place to go for all things shirts, hats, polos, jackets. And again, they are moving warehouse locations, and so there will be that designated delay in the first couple of weeks of March. Our TMN license plates are available for purchase, either personalized or non-personalized, and $22 of each plate does come back to the Master Naturalist program. Great to see some of those license plates out on the road as we drive around the state. And then I will be sharing I'll pull the Q1 2026 report the 1st of March. And so I'll have the Q1 report at our next monthly meeting to update the final total sold. And then our Master Naturalist Endowment is a great way to sustain the Master Naturalist program in perpetuity with an endowment or an estate gift, individual or chapter gifts, employer gift matching. All of that is answered on that endowment website that is linked there and through both the link that Hannah's going to drop in the chat or the QR code that's there. And again, thank you to everybody who has supported the Master Naturalist Endowment over the years. And then last but not least, Michelle did have a few questions submitted through the President's Corner, and we do have a little bit of time available for discussion as we close out today's meeting.
Yeah, so we had one chapter submit a question to talk with fellow presidents about. And that basic question comes from the Indian Trail chapter, and they asked, do other chapters have limits on the number of hours a volunteer can log for a specific project opportunity? In some context with the example here, this chapter has had several trainees and some members obtain all of their hours. And for some people, sometimes that's hundreds of hours per year on one single project that is a virtual project. They say internally, they're questioning if this is excessive and benefiting their chapter. And then just to start the discussion here, I just wanted to, of note, as a state program, we do not have a policy for setting hours limits with certain partners or projects at the local level. So just wanted to mention that here before we start into the discussion. So if other chapters have kind of addressed this type of question before, let's hear from you.
And so there's some responses in the chat. It looks like the Panhandle chapter does limit the number of hours per day for a project feeder watch, which is a home-based virtual project or distance-based project. Cradle of Texas does limit their hours for animal rehab that may be done at home. And then Cheryl says that they do not limit or restrict how many hours are logged as long as they are for an approved project. Christine says they do not allow our members to earn all of their hours on a single project, and they must diversify. They encourage their membership to diversify their project hours. So it does sound like it's varied across the board, Michelle. Vicki asked the question, and this is open for discussion here, is have our chapters taken into account the accessibility issues for these individuals that may be seeking those volunteer hours at a distance or virtually? Are these opportunities the only way that some of these people are able to participate? And I think that's a valid discussion that chapter
Great
leaders need to have.
considerations. Yeah.
Rolling Plains chapter does not have those limits per project, but they do closely vet and monitor those projects just to make sure that there's kind of accountability to those projects and those project hours that are being logged. Michelle, there's an interesting question from Alamo area here. Maybe you can help to answer some of this here, but she says that Alamo area is considering requiring members to volunteer with official chapter sponsored projects as opposed to projects that are sponsored by their partners only. And that's not policy in our guiding documents at all either, I said.
Nope.
And the encouragement there, Talit, is to, while supporting chapter projects is important, part of the Master Naturalist program is part of that community of conservation partner support system with our volunteers. So it is a balance. You absolutely do want to have your members diversifying and supporting chapter projects while also making those accessibility considerations, those considerations for diversified skill sets of your volunteers, making sure that they're engaging with those projects that support their specific areas of expertise, skill, and passion.
There's some other questions coming in from chapters in the chat now too. So kind of related to this question that's on the screen, there's another question about City Nature Challenge and members recording time spent making INAT observations for City Nature Challenge. And Alice, I'd like to first direct you to the document on citizen science that we have for the program currently on citizen science observations and the policies that go along with that. That is on, so if you were to go to the guidelines, the chapter management operations protocols and all the guiding documents for the chapter for the program, that is further down in that list of guiding documents. Some other questions that are kind of coming in. One chapter is considering getting a hotspot for their chapter and asked if any other chapters have done this. And is there a product that you'd recommend that you've used in rural areas that has helped you? And then there's still lots of questions just revolving around lots of questions and considerations revolving around the question that's still on screen here too. So great things to be thinking about there in the chat.
And we can take today's chat and the questions, the discussion that's happening here, and make sure that we record these in the Naturalist News post that goes along with the recording from today's event and our slide set as well, so that you can go back and look at some of these questions and discussion points. So it does seem like it's an active discussion that's happening across chapters. So the Indian Trail chapter is certainly not alone. And kind of summarizing what I'm hearing out of it is that it's very chapter and individual specific. And something that I would encourage you as chapter leadership together with your membership to discuss openly, and look at all of the different opportunities that you do currently engage with, and that your membership is engaging with on projects, and make those individual kind of case by case considerations.
Yeah,
Michelle, does that kind of summarize?
It seems to be also dependent on kind of the level of partner at the chapter level. And then also just your members abilities.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, not to continue to belabor the meeting, and again, we'll take the chat and add this into the recording slide, the recording that we post on our website after this meeting. But to wrap it up here, we do have our March meeting scheduled for March 31st. So closing out February with this Presidents and Advisors meeting today. Our TMN Tuesday in March, as Hannah announced earlier, is March 10th, and then our Presidents and Advisors meeting will be that March 31st. And the rest of our schedule for 2026 is here. And with that, thank you all so much for attending today, and we'll have this listed on the website, if not this afternoon, first thing tomorrow morning. See y'all next month.
Thanks, everyone.
Enjoy the warmer weather.